Have you ever received a notice from the Social Security Administration saying you've been overpaid? It can be confusing and stressful, especially if you rely on those benefits. Overpayments happen when the SSA pays you more than you should have received, and they'll usually ask for that money back. But did you know you might not have to repay it? In this video, we'll walk you through the process of requesting a waiver for a Social Security overpayment so you can understand your options and take action with confidence. Let's start by clarifying what an overpayment is. An overpayment occurs when the Social Security Administration gives you more money than you're entitled to. This could be due to a change in your income, a mistake in your reported information, or even an administrative error. When this happens, the SSA will send you a letter explaining the overpayment and the amount they believe you owe. It's important to read this letter carefully and understand why the overpayment happened before taking any steps. Overpayments can happen for a variety of reasons. Sometimes, it's because your income or living situation changed and wasn't reported right away. Other times, it could be a simple clerical error on the SSA's part. Even changes in your marital status or receiving other benefits can trigger an overpayment. Understanding the cause is important because it will help you explain your situation if you decide to request a waiver. When you receive an overpayment notice from the SSA, don't panic. The letter will outline the amount you owe, the reason for the overpayment, and your options for repayment or appeal. It's crucial to keep this letter in a safe place, as you'll need it for any future correspondence with the SSA. Take a moment to review the details and make sure you understand what the SSA is claiming. After you get an overpayment notice, you have rights. You don't have to pay the amount immediately. The SSA gives you the opportunity to appeal the decision or request a waiver if you believe the overpayment wasn't your fault or if paying it back would cause you hardship. Knowing your rights is the first step to protecting yourself and your finances. A waiver is a formal request to the SSA asking them to forgive or waive the overpayment so you don't have to pay it back. You can request a waiver if the overpayment wasn't your fault and if paying it back would cause you financial hardship. The SSA will review your situation and decide whether to grant the waiver based on the information you provide. Not everyone qualifies for a waiver, but if you believe the overpayment wasn't your fault and repaying it would create a financial burden, you may be eligible. The SSA will look at your income, expenses, and the circumstances that led to the overpayment. If you acted in good faith and the error wasn't due to your actions, you have a strong case for a waiver. To have your waiver approved, you'll need to show two main things. First, that the overpayment wasn't your fault, and second, that paying it back would cause you financial hardship. The SSA will want to see evidence, such as your income, expenses, and any special circumstances. Being honest and thorough in your application is essential. Before you request a waiver, gather all the documents you'll need. This includes your overpayment notice, proof of your income and expenses, and any correspondence with the SSA. Having these documents ready will make the process smoother and show the SSA you're organized and serious about your request. To request a waiver, you'll need to fill out Form SSA 632, also known as the Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery. This form asks for details about your finances and the circumstances of the overpayment. It's important to answer every question honestly and provide as much detail as possible to support your case. You can get Form SSA 632 online at the Social Security Administration's website or by visiting your local SSA office. If you have trouble accessing the form, you can call the SSA and ask them to mail it to you. Make sure you get the most recent version to avoid any delays in processing your request. When filling out the waiver form, take your time. Read each question carefully and answer truthfully. You'll need to provide information about your income, expenses, and why you believe the overpayment wasn't your fault. Attach any supporting documents, such as pay stubs, bills, or letters from the SSA. Double-check your answers before submitting. In your waiver request, you'll have a chance to explain your situation. Be clear about why the overpayment wasn't your fault. Maybe you reported your income on time, or you didn't understand the rules. If repaying the money would cause you hardship, describe your financial situation in detail. The more information you provide, the better your chances. The SSA will want to see proof of your financial situation. This means providing copies of your pay stubs, rent or mortgage statements, utility bills, and any other regular expenses. If you have medical bills or other special costs, include those too. The goal is to show that repaying the overpayment would make it hard for you to meet your basic needs. A hardship statement is your opportunity to explain, in your own words, how repaying the overpayment would affect you. Be honest and specific. Talk about your monthly budget, any dependents you support, and any unexpected expenses you're facing. This personal touch can help the SSA understand your situation beyond just the numbers. Once you've completed the form and gathered your documents, submit your waiver request to the SSA. You can mail it to the address listed on your overpayment notice or deliver it in person to your local SSA office. Keep copies of everything you send and consider using certified mail for proof of delivery. After you submit your waiver request, the SSA will review your application and supporting documents. This process can take several weeks or even months. During this time, the SSA may contact you for more information or clarification. Be sure to respond promptly to any requests to avoid delays. The SSA will carefully review your waiver request, looking at your financial documents, your explanation, and any other evidence you provided. They may schedule an interview or ask for additional paperwork. The decision will be based on whether you meet the criteria for a waiver, so make sure your application is as complete as possible. There are a few possible outcomes after the SSA reviews your waiver request. They may approve the waiver, meaning you don't have to repay the overpayment. They could deny the waiver, requiring you to pay the money back. Sometimes, they might approve a partial waiver or offer a payment plan. Whatever the result, you'll receive a letter explaining the decision. If your waiver is approved, congratulations. You won't have to repay the overpayment, and your benefits will continue as usual. Be sure to keep the approval letter for your records. If you have any questions about your benefits going forward, contact the SSA for clarification. If your waiver request is denied, don't lose hope. You still have options. The SSA will explain the reason for the denial in their letter. You can appeal the decision if you believe it was incorrect, or you can work with the SSA to set up a payment plan that fits your budget. If you decide to appeal a denial, act quickly. The SSA's denial letter will include instructions and a deadline for filing your appeal. You'll need to provide additional information or clarify any misunderstandings. It's a good idea to seek help from a legal aid office or advocacy group if you're unsure how to proceed. If you can't get a waiver, you may be able to set up a payment plan with the SSA. This allows you to repay the overpayment in smaller, more manageable amounts over time. Contact the SSA to discuss your options and negotiate a plan that works for your budget. If you truly can't afford to repay the overpayment, let the SSA know. They may be able to adjust your payment plan or reconsider your waiver request if your circumstances change. Don't ignore the problem. Communicating with the SSA is the best way to find a solution. If you're overwhelmed by the process, you're not alone. There are advocacy organizations and legal aid offices that can help you navigate the waiver request and appeal process. These professionals can help you understand your rights, fill out forms, and represent you in hearings if needed. To improve your chances of a successful waiver, be honest, thorough, and organized. Provide all requested documents, explain your situation clearly, and respond promptly to any SSA requests. Keeping good records and staying proactive can make a big difference in the outcome. Some common mistakes can hurt your waiver request. Don't ignore the overpayment notice, and don't delay in responding. Avoid leaving out important information or failing to provide supporting documents. Double-check your form for errors before submitting, and always keep copies of everything you send to the SSA. The waiver process can take time. It may be several weeks or even months before you get a decision from the SSA. While you're waiting, keep track of any correspondence and be ready to provide more information if asked. Patience and persistence are key during this period. While your waiver request is being reviewed, the SSA may temporarily reduce your benefits to recover the overpayment. If your waiver is approved, any withheld benefits may be returned to you. If not, the reduction will continue until the overpayment is repaid. Stay in contact with the SSA to understand how your benefits may be affected. Throughout the waiver process, keep detailed records of all your communications with the SSA. Save copies of every letter, form, and email you send or receive. This documentation can be invaluable if there are any disputes or misunderstandings later on. Good communication with the SSA is essential. If you move or change your contact information, let them know right away. Respond to any letters or calls promptly, and don't hesitate to ask questions if you're unsure about something. Clear communication can help prevent delays and misunderstandings. Even if the overpayment wasn't your fault, you have a responsibility to cooperate with the SSA. This means providing accurate information, responding to requests, and following up as needed. Taking your responsibilities seriously can help your case and keep your benefits on track. Sometimes, special circumstances can strengthen your waiver request. For example, if you have a disability, care for dependents, or face unexpected medical expenses, be sure to mention these in your application. The SSA considers your entire situation when making a decision. If you move or change your address during the waiver process, notify the SSA right away. This ensures you receive all important correspondence and don't miss any deadlines. Keeping your contact information current is a simple but important step. If you receive another overpayment notice in the future, follow the same steps. Review the notice, gather your documents, and consider requesting a waiver if appropriate. Each case is reviewed separately, so don't assume a previous waiver will automatically apply. To avoid future overpayments, keep the SSA updated about any changes in your income, living situation, or other benefits. Report changes as soon as they happen and keep copies of all your communications. Staying proactive can help prevent overpayments and protect your benefits. If you disagree with any decision the SSA makes about your overpayment or waiver, you have the right to appeal. The appeals process involves several steps, including reconsideration, a hearing, and possibly a review by the appeals council. Each step gives you another chance to present your case. Reconsideration is the first step in the appeals process. If your waiver is denied, you can ask the SSA to take another look at your case. You'll need to provide any new information or evidence that supports your claim. The SSA will review everything again and make a new decision. If you're not satisfied with the reconsideration decision, you can request a hearing before an administrative law judge. This is a more formal process where you can present your case in person or by phone. Having an advocate or attorney can be helpful at this stage. If you disagree with the judge's decision, you can ask the SSA's appeals council to review your case. The appeals council will look at the hearing record and decide whether to uphold, change, or send the case back for another hearing. This is usually the final step within the SSA. If you've exhausted all SSA appeals and still disagree with the decision, you have the right to take your case to federal court. This is a complex process, so it's best to seek legal advice before proceeding. Most people resolve their cases before reaching this stage. There are many resources available to help you with Social Security overpayments and waiver requests. The SSA's website has forms and guides, and local legal aid offices can provide free or low-cost assistance. Don't hesitate to reach out for help if you need it. Rules and procedures for Social Security overpayments can change. Stay informed by checking the SSA's website regularly and signing up for updates. Being aware of any changes can help you respond quickly and protect your benefits. Let's recap the key steps. Review your overpayment notice, gather your documents, fill out Form SSA 632, and submit your waiver request. Respond promptly to any SSA requests and keep good records. If your waiver is denied, consider appealing or setting up a payment plan. Remember, help is available if you need it. Dealing with a Social Security overpayment can feel overwhelming, but you have options and rights. By understanding the process and taking action, you can protect your finances and your peace of mind. Don't hesitate to seek help if you need it. And remember, you're not alone on this journey.